Welcome, Let Freedom Ring. Hope everybody's having a great week out there. Over the weekend, participated in my 9th Tough Ruck. Have to say, one of the best events that I get the chance to take a part of every year, and just raising money for Gold Star families it's just an honor, and I hope everybody's feeling better from the race. And we're on to next year. But my guest this week, Merl Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Nailed it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Merl brought me this really nice sweatshirt. First ever Let Freedom Ring sweatshirt.
Let's go.
Never had any swag. It says, what does it mean to be an American on the back? This is super cool, so I really appreciate you bringing this.
Of course, of course.
So let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in New Hampshire. Raised in Deerfield, New Hampshire.
Oh,
have you ever heard of Deerfield?
I think everybody has.
Yeah, the Deerfield Fair.
How's that, growing up near that?
It was awesome. We got like the whole week off from school for the fair. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. And, you know, small town. And my father ended up passing away, so then we moved out of Deerfield to Northwood, and then I ended up in Pittsfield, and that's where I went to high school.
Okay, so Pittsfield, now, I get that confused. That's not Pittsburgh.
Not
Pittsburgh's
Pittsburgh.
way up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's where you met Jeff Feeney.
It
there,
is,
'cause he
yeah.
mentioned that.
And Kevin Gibson, yeah.
Oh, he's from there as well.
He is, yeah. The
Okay.
three of us. Yeah, so I went to high school there, and then I moved to Manchester when I was like 17, and then now I live in the Lakes region. I live in Guilford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you like it up there?
I love it.
I went to Plymouth State, so I'd pass that area a lot. Guilford. Now, I think I saw you posted something like, you're like, well, I always get to drive somewhere for softball. Now you guys got to drive to me. Mm-hmm. Is there a lot of softball going on up there? Or?
So they have the Laconia League, which is awesome. That's where I started playing softball. And then the Franklin League. We have Bristol, which is like near Plymouth. And then Plymouth has one too. So I'm in like leagues up there. And then now I'm like playing in Manchester too. So it's all over the place. Just great.
I see a lot because like, where are the fields at Plymouth?
Plymouth is right like at the university.
Okay, because that's where I started playing softball.
Yeah.
We had like intramurals.
Yes.
And yeah, I want to play there one more time.
Yeah?
Yeah, so.
Our league starts, I think, in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Because they do.
It's a wooden bat league.
It's wood. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But did they do like a tournament or something? They did last year or something.
In Plymouth?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Might have been a men's tournament or something. But
Could be. Yeah.
I'd like to play there one last.
Yeah.
It's been about 20 years since I played there. So, now what are 3 things everybody should know about you?
So I'd say that I am obsessed with my dog. He is my son. His name's Duke. I rescued him like 4.5 years ago, but really he like rescued me. I own a custom apparel company, and I'm a coffee snob. I'll only drink iced coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So even during the winter, you're one of those, that's like a New England.
For sure.
New England thing.
For sure.
I got to ask this. So, always curious how people come up with names for their dog. How'd you come up with Duke?
He already had it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he already had it. He was a double rescue. And when I got him from the people I got him from, they were like, the one thing, can you not change his name? And he was already like 2 years old. So I was like, I like Duke. I really wanted a female dog so I could name it Pearl, so I could have the Merl and Pearl show. But I got Duke, and it's worked out great.
Awesome. And I got to ask, so what, now we can't promote and tell people, I don't want to break any of the rules, Merrimack TV, Justin's watching here. What is the name of your apparel company?
It's super creative. It's Merl's Creations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I wanted to change it, and I thought about changing it to Duke's Designs, but I have such a like client base already that I don't want to change the name at this point.
Okay. Fair enough. And you can find that all on the social medias.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. Now it's on a sweatshirt. This question means even more. Mm-hmm. Sticking with the theme of the show, which is Let Freedom Ring, for those of you watching. What does it mean to you to be an American?
The first thing, I've been thinking about this question, like the first thing that comes to me is like freedom. Like I get to live this life of freedom today, and it's because of all the people that have fought for me to live this life. But then also like the side of being a business owner in America, the opportunity and the equality that we get here in America. A lot of places don't have that. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
And that's, it's important to know that going into the show.
For sure. For sure.
But no, it means a lot to a lot of different people, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I want to get into this because we share a bunch of things in common here. How did you decide, we promoted the show, talked about your sobriety. How did you decide to enter the world of recovery?
So, I mean, my life was not good before I got sober. And it was kind of, I burned every bridge in my life, and I was taking hostages down with me. And so I didn't know what it was like to be sober. The only person I knew that got sober was Jeff. And he has like 8 months ahead of me in time. And, but I didn't know, like I was 28 and I was like, I can't live like this anymore. I got to do something. And I didn't do it the normal way. Like I didn't go to a rehab or anything. I just kind of walked into the halls of AA and asked for help. And I was so fearful, like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how my life was going to play out without alcohol or drugs in it. And once I got that little glimpse of like recovery and sobriety, I was like, I want this. And I chased that instead of chasing my next drink. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I'll tell you what, like I was much older,
Yeah.
because I always look back and I go, oh man, I wish I, made the decision early, but I just know I couldn't have.
Yeah.
I think everybody's rock bottom is a little bit different.
Yep.
But no, it's wild to think because I couldn't picture my life without it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also being stuck between like, I don't want to live and I don't want to die.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah. Like I had every like thought in my mind that I didn't want to be here anymore because I didn't know how to get away from it. But I also like still wanted to be here too. Like it was just so strange and bizarre. But like at the end of it, I crossed every line that I said I never would. And like I was not the same person. I look back at pictures and I'm like, who is that? I'm like, what was I doing? And enough was enough. It was fun and games until it wasn't. And really blessed to have my life today.
No, I totally agree. And when people talk about alcoholism, addiction, it is progressive.
For sure.
And no, I applaud you for doing that. And honestly, seeing the progression in my own life firsthand, you're right. It's like I haven't done this yet.
Exactly.
I haven't done that yet.
Yep.
And the yets are always
right there.
Yeah. And it's scary. And you know what? If I don't work on it, those yets they're always a possibility.
Yep.
So no. Now how has it changed your life so far?
Like being sober?
Yeah.
It's changed everything about my life. I've been able to have relationships today with like my family and my friends, and like one big thing is I was never able to show up before. I was so selfish and like self-seeking. And my mom, I was like 2 years sober and my mom got diagnosed with cancer. And like if I was still actively using, like I would have used that as an excuse to like drink and drug the way that I did. But instead, like I was able to like sit there in the hospital with her when she went through chemo and like be there and be a daughter, and like so today, like that's just one thing, having a business. I never cared about that type of stuff before. Like I worked in restaurants and I was like, I'm just going to go in, make my money and go home. And like now I have like dreams that like are achievable, and that's all because I gave myself a shot at like getting sober and taking it seriously.
No, I like that answer. And that's the thing of like the importance of like recovery is I could always find a reason to drink.
Yeah.
Anybody can find that reason.
Yep.
And that is like, and that's my disease talking, So no, that's really awesome. Have you found, cause like the one thing, like even when I was doing the Tough Ruck on Sunday and it sucks for a while, but there is a part of me that enjoys even being in that kind of pain.
Yeah.
Do you find it, so I have to be present. Do you feel like you're more present? Like, is it easier to live in the moment?
100%. And I didn't understand that when I first like got sober. I didn't get what that meant. I couldn't sit still with myself for a second. You know, when I came in, like I had people telling me like, Merl, like brush your teeth. Merl, take a shower. You know, Merl, did you eat today? And so when people were telling me to like be present in the moment and not like time jump, I was like, how do I do that? You know? And over time, like I was able to like practice like some meditation and stuff like that. And now it's just like everyday practice of like, I get to be present today. So like when I get to travel, right? Yeah, of course I get excited to like go and travel and I'm like, oh, Texas is coming up, this and that. But I'm really just like, I'm here. I'm here in this moment and this is all I have. And yeah, I was never like that before, ever.
I didn't understand the concept.
Me either.
You know, and I know how my brain, you know, if anybody knows me, my brain's going from here to here to here to here, like, and it very quickly. And do I do this perfectly? I don't think any of us do.
No.
But at least, like, I don't know about you, I can recognize when it's like, you can't handle that right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like life on life's terms or life on God's terms is what I like to say. And like, I know when I'm not okay. You know, like I know when like I'm having a bad day and it's me, and sometimes I want to stay in that moment and like I'm like fighting the urge to like get out of it. But once I like go and like talk to God and sit with myself, like I'm like, all right, I'm good. You know, like my life is good. This Cadillac problem isn't going to hold me back right now.
Yeah, I love that saying.
Yeah.
You know, I got Cadillac problems.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday I found myself, I went to the, Wyndham has Giardia, which I didn't know he had. They did a stool sample.
Okay.
And they found it. So they're like, oh, he's going to be fine. Come get the medication. So, you know, I'm thinking I get there. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like, I'm like Googling it. Probably be like $35. It was like $250.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, what?
How much?
You know, but obviously it's my dog. But, you know, then I find myself getting in the car and I'm pissed.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I need to be pissed. I need to go up to be able to come back down and, like, have the rational brain come back.
Yeah.
You know?
And we have to be able to laugh at ourselves about it, you know, like when we're in those moments of, like, I was being ridiculous.
Yeah. It's hard, and I think a lot of people, and I feel like whether you're in recovery or not, like everybody in life is carrying this bag of shit. I apologize for the language, but it's true. Whether you know, and you have to be able to get through it because this is a temporary journey.
For
like,
sure.
we're not here forever.
Yep.
So. Now, you do a real cool thing because you kind of mix your recovery with softball. I kind of want to know first how you got into softball, and then how'd you get into like sober softball?
Okay. So when I was little, like I grew up playing softball. I was like really good at softball when I was young. And when my father passed when I was 11, I quit. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle being out there with him not there. And I didn't look back. Like I quit softball and that was that. And I got sober in 2019. COVID happened like 6 months into my recovery. And my sponsor, like I got really lucky when I got sober. Like I walked into the halls and like I asked for help and I was like surrounded by these like females that are like very strong in recovery that are like my best friends today. But my sponsor, my first sponsor, she was like, do you want to come to this like pickup softball game? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I haven't played softball since I was 11. Everybody's going to laugh at me. You know, all of the things, fear. It was all fear-based that I was like so scared. And she's like, it's going to be okay. I was like, I don't have a glove, you know, coming up with all these excuses. And I went, and it was like a pickup game in Bosquen. And that's where like I met so many of like my best friends today. And we went there and we just had a great time. I was terrible. And like I walked away from there so happy and like so content. And like that was like the moment that I realized that like I really could have fun in sobriety. You know, because like COVID happened, so like we're stuck in the house. My life sucks, right? But I'm just like not drinking, not drugging. And then like I was able to go to that. My first tournament that I went to was an NH Core sober softball tournament in Manchester. And our team was all sober, and I got to like, I saw a couple people that I knew from like meetings and stuff, and it was the best experience that I could have had at that time, was going to that tournament. And I remember like Feeney was there, so like I was like following him around. He's introducing me to all these people, his friends from like Manchester. And that was my introduction to softball again, like slow pitch softball and to sober softball. It was kind of
All at the same
together.
time?
Yeah. Yeah.
How is, I got to ask this because, COVID now seems so far away.
Yeah.
And I hear from a lot of people because I couldn't imagine, if it ever happens again, I would have to, but I wasn't there yet. What's it like working a recovery program during COVID?
It was scary. It was really scary. So I got sober in November, and then the world shut down in March. And like when I got sober, like I wasn't one to like be of service. Like I couldn't even speak at a meeting. Like I couldn't speak up at all. And so like when the world shut down, luckily, like I'm good with like computers and technology, that I jumped into service work, and I started like opening meetings for like the different districts and like Zoom meetings, this and that. So I was running all of these meetings, and it saved my life at the time. But a lot of people struggled, because there wasn't in-person meetings, and there wasn't like a one-on-one with your sponsor or whatever it looks like. For me, I thrived in it, but a lot of people, it took them out, and it was a tough time.
Yeah, like did someone just say like, hey, we're starting this on Zoom, or like, how does that even?
Yeah, so I remember like the very beginning, and it was like we have like the staple meetings in Laconia. So it was like the 9 a.m. and then the 5:30. And so it's like people on the phone, like, what are we going to do? Like, we need to figure this out. People need meetings. So like, hey, Merl, can you get on the computer, get a Zoom account, and figure out how we can all get on there? And I remember like the first like week, it was very interesting because it was kind of like everybody was just going around checking in. And then afterwards it was like, all right, let's find some speakers. So that's when like my connections, like I expanded my network, and I started like reaching out to like people in like Concord, Manchester, Merrimack, Nashua, and then it ended up being like different states and different countries to come and speak at these meetings. And the 9 a.m. one, it's still going on Zoom. Yeah. It's like mostly like the old timers that like don't go out in public that often, but yeah, it's still up and running, and it's crazy.
It's so awesome because it has helped a lot of people now too that have those busy schedules where it's like it's easier for them to jump on a Zoom meeting, with their kids or whatever than it is for them to go to an actual meeting. So I think COVID definitely transformed a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've been working from home since COVID happened.
Since COVID, yeah. I remember starting working from home like the day of, and I was like, I never want to go out in public again.
Yeah, it's funny that it is because I like look back at like my Facebook memories, and I like remember like my mindset, like look, because even this month, 4 years ago, was a really miserable month. It's like the weather's getting nice, and we are stuck, not really being able to do much.
Yeah, go outside, like go hiking. That was it.
Yeah, I remember I just would walk around like my complex for a while, and then, I think I went hiking. I think I did Welch Dickey, and I remember we were freaking out. We're like, Massachusetts played, because everybody was freaking out, like, oh my God, everybody's mixing the states.
Nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah, that was.
I remember driving past Mount Major, and there was like 3 miles worth of cars on the side of the road, and I remember like the fear that like was instilled in me that like this is it, like I'm gonna get COVID, and I did end up getting COVID. Like a year or so after like it started, pretty bad. Like I was in the hospital like on oxygen and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But like I remember being so scared when I saw like those cars. I was like, I can't even go hiking now. What am I supposed to do? Yeah,
I ended up getting in 2022 when I went to a wrestling show, and they're like, you don't need masks. And I was like, all right, fine, we're back to normal.
Yeah.
And 2 days later I had it.
Yeah.
And it is rough.
Yeah.
When I was in treatment too, they had, now this is 3 years after, they had a COVID, like, it was like all over the treatment facility, and they would lock you in your room. Like you weren't allowed to leave. And I remember like, I'm a week sober. This is the first time in a very long time, and I'm freaking out about COVID. I'm like, I can't be locked in a room. Like, are you serious? Like, and I thought it was over.
Yeah.
Point,
well, I couldn't imagine being in like a rehab or a facility with like a COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Like,
Because if anybody's ever been to treatment, there's certain things about when you have your phone and stuff like that. And I remember getting into it with the head of it because I walked out of a group because someone came in and started coughing, and I said, "Your policies are going to lock me in a room if I get COVID." I wasn't staying in that group. It wasn't to be rude, and
because I don't want COVID.
Like it was like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And very stressful.
Yeah.
Gotta ask you, what's the big difference do you feel between like the sober tournaments you play in and like regular leagues and stuff like that? Like community-wise or anything? Like, is there any kind of difference you feel?
Absolutely. That's a good question. I feel like it's all about like the energy. Like I'm a super like positive person, and I like vibe off of other people's energy. And I feel like when I go to like a sober tournament, like there's so much like love. You know, there is in the softball community regardless, but like it's 100 times more when you're at a sober softball tournament. Have you been to a sober tournament before?
I have not. No.
Okay, you need to experience it because it's like, it's beautiful. You know, like the amount of friends that you get from these places, because everybody's just like mingling with each other and talking and like bringing God into the mix, and it's really cool. But like, so my first tournament ever was that NH Core softball tournament, and then I remember like playing. So I played in Laconia league ball, and it was on a sober team, but it wasn't a sober league, right? And I remember like people were like fighting and like all of this stuff, and you don't really see that in sober softball. Like, yeah, of course we're there to be competitive and we want to win, but there's a huge difference in the energy alone. And I love playing sober softball. Like I love playing softball in general, but like sober ball is like where my heart is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can say like now that I do work recovery, and there have been times at tournaments that I don't care if people drink, that doesn't bother me. But you do start to notice, and I noticed it before, when people are in tournaments and they get too drunk. And that just doesn't become fun. And then now, like, removed from it, you're like, this is a safety issue.
100%.
This is a safety issue.
100%. Like,
You know?
I don't understand how people get up there and bat. Like, or, you know, you're pitching and you're like that. I'm like, how?
It really, and that's something that it's tough because I don't think you're going to stop it. But like, there's times where it's like, you've seen people, and I've been in it. I've done it myself, where it's like they shouldn't be on the field.
Yep.
It's for them.
Yeah.
Not even for anybody else, but for them.
Have you been to Canaan before?
I go, the last 3 years.
Yeah, that was
3 or 4
crazy.
years, yeah.
I went up this year and I was like, what is happening right now?
There, and it's tough because I mean, when I did go to Canaan originally, I was, but I'm not an aggressive person generally. So, but I've seen people flip a switch, and I saw someone, at 1 a.m, toasted. And then I see them the next day and they're just carrying into it. And then they're arguing with someone. I'm like, someone's going to get hurt. And like, not only that, but like, alcohol can really ruin fun situations. As much as I think, my mentality before I got sober was always thinking this is enhancing and making my time more fun, which is alcoholism. That's crazy.
100%, yeah.
I was insane.
Yep.
And you just see like, even you look at football games, you see these fights in the stands. That's alcohol-based stuff that's happening.
They probably won't remember it tomorrow.
Yeah. And it can make things not fun.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen that in Canaan.
Yeah.
And I think they address it, and I don't know what the answer is or whatnot, and I don't want to be in that position to have to make it, but I think at some point something's got to give, because it is a fun weekend until Sunday, when people have been in Bender. Is that it? Bender?
Yeah.
Bender. Sorry, Bender. Binder. People have been like benders for days, and then by Sunday, it's like they're angry. It's like Woodstock '99.
I
If
know.
you ever seen that documentary, you know. So
Yeah, it gets nuts.
but I do want to get to the fan questions. So you had quite a few. First one, Ryan McMahon. He said, "Love this."
I love him.
Ryan's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's been on the show. He actually suggested you because
Did he?
Yeah, before I don't think I had you on Facebook or anything at the time. He's like, "No, you really got to get her on." I go, "All right, we'll find her."
He's like the biggest hype man.
Yeah,
Like the biggest hype man. I'm like,
yeah. And Ryan, he's a great guy, and he really loves playing.
yeah.
You know, Mike Lush, another former guest, says 2-part question. She buy or sells? Would you buy or sell Mike Lush?
You know, I feel like he'd be worth a lot of money, so I might sell him. But I'll buy him.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And he when he was on the show, he was talking about how he played pro basketball
Crazy,
overseas and
right?
stuff. Really interesting stories
Yeah.
he's got. Also, what does the Lush laugh mean to you?
That's so funny. So when he was on the show, he was wearing that shirt. Did you see it? Hashtag.
Yes.
Yeah. So I made that for him. For
Oh,
the
you
show.
did? Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't know what it meant, but like now when I think of it, I think of just like, if I'm in a bad mood, I can call Lush and like, he'll make me laugh. And like, I don't think that's the idea of the Lush laugh, but that's my idea of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm in a group chat with him, and sometimes he'll just send a laugh thing in there. I'm like, what's happening right now?
I know. He
But-
sent me that a couple times too.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's creepy.
But it was good to have him on the show, and we talked for a little while before he did it. He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Dan Anson, hopefully I said that, said rock on. Now who do we? Dean, I'm sorry,
Dean, okay.
I am just butchering things today. Dean, who's Dean?
So Dean is from Laconia, and I actually bought 2 kayaks from him when I first got sober. I didn't think I was going to like kayaking because I've never done it sober. And I went out one time, loved it, and instantly needed to buy kayaks. So I bought 2 from Dean. He's a great man.
How's that? Like, is it just kind of relaxing? Or?
Yeah. Yeah. So I never had a sober breath on the river before. And then when I got kayaks, I used to bring my sponsees out, and we would like go out there and meditate together and just hang out until like sponsees were getting tipped over in kayaks, and I was like,
Oh no.
maybe we won't do this again.
Michael Stephen, I'm guessing that's his middle name, not his last name.
Oh, Mitch.
Mitch. Oh, we're gonna have to edit the show. I'm messing up names today. I'm looking at them quick, but he said, "Let's go."
Love that man.
Now this is interesting. Mark Jones throwing a little shade here. He said it. Dang, the show getting shady.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Do you guys have some kind of rift going on?
I don't think so. So I messaged him and I said, what does that mean? I was like, are you calling me Eminem?
Yeah.
And I forget what he said, but yeah.
I think he's just playing around.
Yeah,
but
that's Mark.
Jeff Feeney, he has a bunch here.
Oh boy, here we go, Jeffrey.
Who is the real 23?
Amadeus.
Oh. He's the first one to have it, or?
So me and Jeff, we've gone way back, and we used to both rock 2-3.
Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, 2-3 was always my number, and always his number. So when we were in high school, we never played on the same team. It was fine, because he's a guy, I'm a girl. And then getting into sober ball, we still didn't play together until this past year. So now it's a battle of who gets 2-3. And we were on the phone the other night, and he's like, we really need to figure out this 2-3 thing. And I'm like, I agree. Because we're both on the same team in Franklin, the draft league. And so we both wanted 23. He ended up getting 2, and I got 7. And somebody else on the team has 23. And I was like, well, I guess Ryan's really the real 2-3.
Yeah, that's anybody that grew up during that era, not me though.
No.
I'm not anti-Michael Jordan, but I was a Scottie Pippen kid.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I don't wear 33, but I think I wear 20.
20? That's your number?
It was given to me one year, and I said, "Yep, this is gonna be my number now."
And you just ran with it.
And that's no cool story behind it, Who is your best friend in the whole wide world?
Jeffrey. Probably Duke. My
Oh,
dog.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. But Jeff is definitely up there. Like I'm really grateful for him. I have a lot of best friends, you know.
Now, how long you guys know each other since elementary or high school?
Since
or?
I was 11, yeah. So
Okay.
a long time now.
Yeah, no, that's cool because I mean I have friends from like high school I'll talk to, but I don't think I have anybody from high school like I see on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's been a really cool experience, like being able to be sober with some of your like your best friends from like high school. So like even when like Kevin, you know, came around, it was amazing. Like it just being able to experience life now with those guys versus like how we used to drink and party together, you know. But Jeff and I, like we talk every single day. He's my best friend for sure.
Now, when he got sober, did that kind of help you to kind of make that decision?
Absolutely. I don't want to say it was like looking at him saying like, if he can do it, I can too. But it was definitely because he was always there. I would hit him up and I would like ask questions and he would always answer. And so like when I got sober and like I remember the first time seeing him out of sobriety and I was just like, he came up to Tilton for a meeting with like him and a couple of his friends. And it's amazing. But yeah, he helped me a lot along my journey with that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it was big to start seeing friends of mine do it, because then it started to get me to know that it was kind of possible. Like Jesse DeLay, who's a good friend of mine, been on the show many times. Like he took me to my first AA meeting before I ever actually got sober.
Yep.
Like I went to that meeting because I knew where I was at. I knew I was there for years, and I listened, and I was like, wow. These people do the same things that I do, or did, or I should say, and I remember I just wasn't there yet.
Yeah, but the seeds were being planted.
And that's, I think, a big thing is like, I needed to go to treatment probably then. You know what I mean? And because I think I stopped drinking for like 6 days after that meeting, but it just, you know, I wasn't.
You couldn't do it on your own.
It wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
You know. And one thing about work and recovery is like you got to keep doing it. One meeting's you're not going to cure you, you know.
No.
And do we get to play softball today? Do you have a game after this? Or?
No. That's our thing, though. We always just get really excited when we get to play softball. Unfortunately, we can't play today. I think our next time playing is next Saturday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's playing it. I know I'm supposed to go to a scrimmage after this, and
Are you?
And I'm not going.
Oh.
It's raining.
I was like, I have my softball stuff. Let's go.
Yeah. And I think the other team already canceled, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready yet for the season.
No?
I don't know. No, like I was thinking about that. I was like, man, I have so many teams I'm playing on this year, and I agreed to this, this, and this. And now as it gets closer, I'm like, and I do this every year. April is like, I'm like, I like easing into it, you know.
Not like 7 games in 7 days.
Which is what's gonna happen, and I'm kind of like I think as I get older too, like I do have other interests, and I sometimes neglect those because of softball.
Because of softball.
Yeah.
See, like I'm like coming into it. So like I started playing, like my first league was like 2020. I tore my Achilles the first game of the season.
Oh no.
Yeah, and when I tore my Achilles, I was out for 9 months, and so then the year after that, I was like playing, but not really. Like I was like catching and like whatever. Last year is when I really got into it. So like I started off on like one team in one league, and then it was every day. Somehow I was on every team of every league.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So like now, this year, like we were talking, and I was like, what day do I have off? I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I was like, this is how people live? Okay.
It becomes like a lifestyle, and
Yeah.
I wasn't always there. I mean, there were years, you know, that I played 1 day a week.
Yeah.
You know, and then it just, I don't know. You find this league, then you find that league, then you realize like, oh, this is how this is where all my friends are now.
Exactly.
It's softball.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Going down there like last year, like even when I wasn't playing and like just hanging out, and then yeah. I'm like, oh, I've been here for 5 hours now. Like, let me go home.
Now, do you bring Duke to the field at all?
I don't. So he's good with people when he knows them. He's not good with people if he doesn't know you, type thing. So I don't know how he would do. Like, he's great at the dog park, and he's great, like, seeing people at the dog park. But if he's at like that, I don't know. I would love to, but
I'm gonna be doing some test runs with Wyndham.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll be fine. It's just when I go onto the field, that's where I'm like, what do I do with him?
what happens then?
Yeah, like am I gonna tie him to the fence,
Yeah.
or is someone gonna be on the bench that can sit with him? Is he gonna be trying to get to me?
I mean, I'll come sit with him. I love him.
Yeah, he, because I don't want. That's the other thing. Like going into is like all these years I never had like a dog, and now it's like the Wyndham is kind of the center of my universe now, and I'm like, am I gonna want to be go all the time? Like when
He's at home.
most of the time I'd rather be with him.
I know.
You know, so
People don't get that if you don't have a dog.
yeah, I mean, and I'm blessed. I work from home, so he
Yeah.
gets me all day. But sometimes, you know, it's like I don't love like if someone's like, "Do you ever want to get away from?" No, I'd rather my dog always be with me.
Yeah.
You know.
I
So-
FaceTime Duke when I'm on vacations and stuff. Like, my brother usually watches him, and I'm like, you need to FaceTime so I could see Duke.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to WrestleMania, I was just like, and Monday morning, I'm like, I just want to get through this drive and just want to get in.
I want to get back to him.
Yeah, so.
And they're so excited when we get back.
Oh, geez. Yeah, he would have thought I was gone for a week. I was
know.
only gone for 2 days,
I
3
know.
days, whatever. Sheila S. Woods wants to know, are we going to be able to play softball together?
I mean, I'm sure at some point we will take the field together. Yeah.
Is she in the league or?
She was up at Canaan. Her son is Cam Colby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know
so
Cam.
I think she's playing on a league this year, but I'm not sure. So I'm sure
right.
at some point we'll take the field together.
Oh, okay. That's got to be cool. That was one thing that, you know, if you know, for Cam too, to get to play with his mom, that's got to
Yeah.
be super cool. There's a lot of like softball like I had to play with my dad against him in the league one
Okay.
year, but like the Borellis, they've always got to
Yes.
play with their dad. And
Yep.
There's other examples.
The
I'm
Perrys
blanking.
and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's got to be cool.
Yeah.
Andrew Watt wants to know, can you daydream at night?
Yeah. Do you think so?
I think a daydream is just like thinking of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Waddy comes up with these crazy questions.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Bill Grant Parker wants to know, have you heard of the band Good Charlotte?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Is that one of your favorite bands, or is there like a punchline to this, or?
So I thought he was asking that because this is a long story, kind of. I'll make it short. When I moved to Pittsfield, I didn't want people to talk to me. I was so not okay with life, with like my dad, like losing my dad, that I went and I chopped all my hair off, like Billy from Good Charlotte, and I dyed it black, and I had like a pink streak in it. And I went to Hot Topic and I got like pants with chains on them,
Okay.
so that I would walk into Pittsfield with like "Don't talk to me" vibes. I don't think that's why he asked it. I don't know why he asked that.
It's maybe he's a big Good
He might
Charlotte
be,
fan.
yeah.
Not that I don't like Good Charlotte. They haven't had a hit though in a long time.
In a long time, since high school, probably.
Yeah. Like, I thought that was an interesting question. I mean, I like some Good Charlotte. I wouldn't probably go see them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
I think I saw them at Warped Tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day.
Warped Tour. That's gotta be. Are you a Sublime fan at all?
Absolutely.
What do you think of Bradley Knowles' son now as the singer? Have you heard? Have you seen any of
No.
this? His son is now. They're back together, and he's the singer.
No way. I need to check that out. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
His videos on like Instagram and stuff. He
Okay.
kind of does sound like him. I've seen some people be critical.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like be like, oh, he doesn't sound just like. I mean, the kid lost his dad at a very young age.
Yeah.
You know, which is tough. It's like
Yeah.
the fact that he's doing that. I thought was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
You know, so Warped Tour though. Who else did you see there?
Oh my gosh. It was like, I think Blink was there that year.
Blink without Tom or
With Tom.
okay.
Yeah, with Tom. Yellow Card. Hawthorne Heights. I don't think The Used was there. I don't know. There were so many. There were so many bands. I don't really remember the whole thing, to be honest.
I know Blink-182 is coming to Fenway now, and I'm sure the tickets are just absurd.
Crazy. Yeah.
But that would be a band I'd love to.
I love Blink-182.
Yeah. Dude Ranch is still my favorite album.
Yep.
You know, I saw them. 97. They played. They used to have this thing, the Sports and Music Festival on MTV.
Okay.
And they would do a little bit of skateboarding. Not that I was really into skateboarding.
But it was cool.
But it was. I don't know why I was watching. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But Blink-182 came on, and I was like, who is that band? And then I remember going to Newbury Comics was a big thing.
Yeah.
Still is, I guess.
Yeah.
And just buying that CD, and then could not stop listening to it. And then they blew up with the next one.
Yep.
Enema of the State. And now
Remember CDs?
Oh yeah.
Kids don't even know what that is anymore.
No. I mean, CDs were a big thing.
Like the mixtapes that we got to make.
Those, yeah.
LimeWire.
Yeah, I never did the Naps or anything like
No.
that. But I used to tape off the radio.
Okay.
But I remember my dad's a musician, so
Okay.
if he was going, I don't know if you remember Strawberries. That was like the CD store, or Coconuts. So if I'd go with my dad, I'd be able to. He'd buy, because my dad, to this day, if you go into his house, he's got like the Bose speaker and just like CDs.
Okay.
So if I would go with him, I could pick a few CDs myself. So,
That's cool.
you know, that was always the first one I ever had was Arrested Development Unplugged. I don't remember them. They were like a rap group.
Okay.
And then I had Michael Jackson Dangerous.
Awesome.
The Dangerous album.
That's
so,
awesome.
You know. Steve Crowley wants to know, how'd you do it? I'm not sure. What's he referring to?
How to do what?
Yeah.
I think he means how did I get sober? I just gave myself a shot. You
Yeah.
know, like when you get medallions and people are like, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
I think that's what he's talking about. I just gave myself a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I get to 1 year, I mean, I just said, you know, did what was said, you know.
Literally listen to the suggestions that were given to me. Yeah.
I think that starting off, I mean, ask for help, pick up the phone, go to meetings, you know.
Get really comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Really, really comfortable with that.
It was, you know, for me, like getting in there though, because as someone that like likes to talk, I had to like be the one to be like, you don't have to talk in every meeting.
Yeah.
You don't have to, Dan.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, and what I started to learn was like, I do better from listening.
Yeah.
Which was probably a big problem with me for a long time, is that I always want to be the one talking. I have a talk show. It makes sense, you know. But
Checks out. Checks out.
I want to get into some top fives. We kind of were just talking about music, but I love asking questions like this. What are your top 5 musical artists?
So definitely Mac Miller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, love me some Mac Miller. 311.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to go to every show I possibly could of 311. Eminem. You know, I might say Blink-182.
Okay.
That might be one. And I think right now I've been on a G-Eazy kick, like old school G-Eazy. Yeah.
Now, Mac Miller, I hate to say it, I didn't know who he was when he passed away.
Really?
And
That's sad.
yeah, well, he was on a song that I like. Who did he date? Ariana Grande?
Yeah.
So she had because I like Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Not that I have any of her albums or anything like that, but I remember going back to listen to one of her old songs. I go, oh, that's Mac Miller. That was him on that song. And then I watched something on YouTube talking about all his like big hits, and I went back and I was like, oh, he was really talented.
For sure.
You know.
And he had like so much more. Like I feel like he was just in the prime.
He was only like 28, right?
27. He was part of the 27 Club.
Yeah, he really talented guy. Unfortunately, we lost him. But do you have a favorite Eminem album?
I feel like Marshall Mathers, like the original. Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
That one, because I had, what was it, the Marshall Mathers, no, the Eminem, what was his first one? I'm forgetting.
Was it Eminem? No, not Eminem Show.
The Slim Shady LP.
Yes.
Yeah, Justin's. But that one was good. And then the next one came out. And obviously, like, going back and listening to some of that stuff now as, like, a 39-year-old, I would not have been as receptive to.
Yeah.
But as, like, a 15-year-old kid when it came out, I was all about it.
Me too.
You know.
And I think it's so funny that like our parents were like, yeah, listen to Eminem.
Yeah, I don't think my parents knew what was on there, or but man, I will be honest, I haven't listened to really anything of his newer stuff.
Me either.
You know.
I mean, like whatever comes on the radio, if
Yeah.
that happens. But anytime I listen to Eminem, it's like old school stuff.
Yeah, same. I do love Rap God too. I think it came out like
Yeah.
11 years ago. But
Yeah. Was it that long ago?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, he's in his 50s now,
I know.
which is like you look
His
back,
daughter's like in her 20s. now.
well into her 20s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but man, there was stuff on that album though. Even as a kid, I could not listen to.
Mm-hmm.
The song about killing his wife or whatever. Like I remember as a kid being like, that I can't. Like even then, I was like, I can't listen to this.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know who he was making that for. Probably just himself. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so now he's sober, right? So like before, when he was making that music, like he definitely wasn't in the right state of mind.
yeah,
You know, like that was
blaming everybody for everything.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
I think he's even made peace with his mom at this point.
Yeah.
Do you have a top 5 favorite movies?
I would have to say The Town for sure. I love The Town. I like the Hunger Games series.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that's like something that I can rewatch. Southpaw.
What is that one?
It's like the fighting movie, like the boxing Southpaw.
Okay.
I don't know who's in it. I'm terrible with actors. And then Taken.
Oh, Taken.
Yeah, Taken. And have you seen Strangers?
Yes, I own that movie.
Yeah, that one.
That's home invasion movies freak me out.
Me too. Me too.
But that's a good horror movie.
Terrifying. Yeah.
As much as I like the Halloweens, they're not scary to me.
They're not, but Strangers is. Like that's
Yeah.
something that I feel like could happen and is terrifying.
Yeah, and I get too caught up sometimes in like watching Investigation Discovery, where I'm like, all right, you're getting paranoid, turn it off.
I know.
Stop watching this. I know that this is addicting and everything like that, but come on.
Yeah. But I just want to know what happens.
Yeah, well, because it always starts like, who did it?
I know. Yeah.
Do you have like favorite moments playing softball?
For sure. So in Laconia, like Riverbank is like a big part of like Laconia recovery, and it's a men's house. And there was a couple of times that like we got the Riverbank boys and like pretty much like all sober houses in Laconia to come and play like pickup games. And really cool because like now I like look back at those pictures and there's a couple of people that like aren't with us anymore that were like out there just like living their best life playing softball. We didn't do one. I don't think we did one last year, but I think we have to do one this year because it was like so much fun, getting people out there that had like a week sober, you know, and like this is what it's like. And then definitely the first time that I played softball again, I just remember like the fear. Like I remember like driving my car to the field in Boscawen and being like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to turn around. And like I didn't, and I got out and, like most of those people are like my best friends today. And every trip that I've taken, so I've gone to Florida and then I went to Texas, and those are just remarkable. Like in Texas, we had Friday, it rained all night on Thursday. So the fields were like drenched. So it got pushed back from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. was our first game. So it was like a full day of just fellowship with like all these people from all over the country. And, you make memories, you make new friends. And yeah, so anytime I travel, I'm all about it.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And
Yeah.
it seems like it's a lot of the same people that go and
Yeah.
good community. I want to get into my favorite segment of the show, which is
Okay.
buy or sell.
Okay.
I'm going to give you anything, topic, person, thing. You're going to let me know if you're buying or selling.
Sounds good.
First one, being a dog owner.
I'll buy that all day. Yeah. I love my dog.
Yeah, I can't disagree there. Now, I'm an older millennial, so I'm not into like the TikTok. I get a lot of my TikToks on Instagram months later. Are you? And now this is like going in front of the government and everything. Buy or sell TikTok?
I think I would sell it at this point. I would have definitely bought it if you asked me a year ago. But I think I'm going to sell it now. Every time I go on there, it's just ads and...
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I go on there. Like, I used to be addicted. I used to be highly addicted to TikTok. But now I go on Instagram because I'm like, I can actually watch Reels.
That's how like YouTube used to be with no ads. It was like, oh, this is great. And then the ads came in. And that was just one ad. Now it's 2 ads. Now it's 3 ads. Depending on how many people are looking at this video, you could be doing an ad every couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Which is how they make money. I get it.
For sure.
Kind of a fashion statement, but a lot of people like to wear them maybe after a softball game or something like that. Crocs.
Ooh, Crocs. So I don't have a pair of Crocs. So I'm going to sell them. Hey dudes all the way.
I'd never wear them.
Crocs?
No.
I just don't see the idea around it. They have holes in them.
They don't look comfortable. I don't like slip-ons. I have a metal plate in my ankle. I like to have sneakers on at all times. You're never going to see me in Crocs.
No.
Never.
No.
Are you a Patriots fan?
I am.
Okay. Are you buying or selling? We don't know we're getting in the draft yet.
Okay.
We have a new coach, new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coach, a lot of new things going. We don't know what to expect. But right now, would you buy or sell the 2024 Patriots?
I'm going to buy them.
Okay.
I'm going to buy them because why would I not have faith in them? I've had faith in them my whole life.
True.
I love them. So, I'm going to buy them.
Yeah, I will never miss a Patriots game. Like, sports that are once a week, like the New England Free Jacks, the New England Patriots, I don't miss those games. Whatever is on the field, I'm going to be watching.
Yep.
I don't know what to expect.
It's scary.
Belichick was the coach since I was about 15 years old.
Yeah, since I started watching football.
Yeah, it's insane. He's going to be on the Pat McAfee show during the draft, so that should be interesting.
Is he?
Yeah. Could be their draft analysis.
Is he going to have his sweatshirt on, his hoodie?
I don't know what he's going to do. I'm really interested. I know Julian Edelman's kind of upset that he's going to do that show before his show, but
Ooh, okay.
maybe we'll get to hear more from Bill.
Yeah.
Until he gets another job.
I think Danny Amendola and Jules should set up a little podcast thing.
I think he's had him on there.
Yeah.
Because Julian Edelman's doing his own thing now. If you see it on Instagram, he's having someone new. Like he just had Ty Law on the show.
Okay.
So I'm interested. I think Bill can be entertaining. He's always been tight-lipped, but now let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's not the coach anymore, so yeah.
Now you have a friend named Jeff Feeney, we talked about, who lived in New England his whole life, roots for the Dallas Cowboys. Buy or sell fans who just have these random fanhoods of teams that they have no ties to?
Sell. What is going on? So he has always been a Cowboys fan. Never understood why he was a Cowboys fan. Sell. Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't. He explained on the show. People sometimes give me a hard time because I like Notre Dame.
Okay.
And I'm not from Indiana, but Notre Dame in this area is very popular because of the Irish background to it. But yeah, I don't. And what gets me is them stirring the pot on Facebook. It's like, you live here. This is the hometown team.
This is the home base. Yeah.
Go to Dallas.
Yep.
So
I was gonna make him a Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt, but then I made him that Bret Hart one instead. But I was like, I don't know.
Well, actually, it's going to go into our next one.
Okay.
Because he is a big Bret Hart fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you made him that sweatshirt. He sent it to me. Buy or sell Bret the Hitman Hart?
I don't even know who that is.
Really?
I don't know. I don't watch wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
According to Bleacher Report, they ranked him as the greatest WWE wrestler of all time.
Let's buy him.
Yeah, I just want to say that he's not. I know Feeney loves Bret Hart. But if you want to go on sold tickets and merchandise and all that, that's not. It's Hogan.
Yeah.
Or Austin. But my social sports.
I'm gonna You know, I played my social sports for the first time, and I will buy it because softball is fun.
All right.
Yeah.
I see. I like to mix it up.
Yeah.
And when I go there, I don't feel the stress that I do sometimes in other leagues.
Yep.
You know, I'm just like, it's just, I don't know, just have more, I have
It's
a lot
fun.
of fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Really big, she had a really big year. We're always talking about her. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, I will buy. How could you not buy Taylor Swift?
There's people that hate her, you know?
Oh my gosh, no. I think it's funny about the whole, what are they calling the couple, the power couple now?
Her with Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
I don't know what they call them.
They call it something, but like when it came out that he's only famous because of her, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely more famous now than he's ever been, you know?
Yeah.
Last one here, big one here. We just talked about him, Jeff Feeney.
I'll buy him all day. Yeah.
Jeff's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
But this has been a pleasure, Merl. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for this sweatshirt.
Of
It's
course.
so awesome. Everybody out there, have a great week. Go Free Jacks this week. Beat Seattle. Until next time, let freedom ring.